Just yeah.
Hi, I'm Nivedita Indrajit, and I'm in conversation with Nupur Goyal. And I like the background that you have. It says love and a lot of other things.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I believe you have a story about your seating space. We can start with that.
Wow, should we? Okay. So, hi Nivedita, thank you so much for inviting me to have a conversation with you. And okay, about my seating space. So, before this lockdown, we are in between the COVID right now, and before this lockdown, I didn't have any plans of, I've been conducting a couple of sessions and attending a couple of sessions online. So, no plans of doing any of that. And so so my father, he wanted like a chair and a table in his room by his bedside. He said, I'm going to work a little, study a little. So me and mom, we were like, you are going to study and work? So he's like, yeah, I want a chair and a table, I want to sit properly and do it. So we were like, okay, fine, call for it. So we called called for it for him. And this was like approximately like a month or two before everything started, like the lockdown. And he hardly used it. It was just kept there like another piece of furniture. And yeah, once the call started, like my first call that I took, so I thought that since the chair and the table is like a good setup, I will do it in their room, like my parents' room. I will take the call. So my mom was like, why do you have to do it in our room? I got locked out.
Yeah.
So she said that, why do you have to do in our room? Let the table in your room. I said, but there's no space. How do I keep it here? It's already like full of furniture. She's like, no, we'll just manage it somehow. I said, all right, good. And since then, that day, it's been, I think, approximately 2 months, 2.5 months now, and the table is here, right here in my room. So it was, universe's plan that this table had to come and everything. So I don't know, it's just universe conspired this table and chair for me, and it somehow knew that I'm going to take my sessions and I'm going to attend sessions, and this backdrop has already.
Yeah. It says have hope, be strong, laugh loud, play hard, live
Yes,
in the moment, smile often, dream big, remember you're loved, and never give up.
yes, yes.
So, can you tell me about your childhood?
About my childhood. Oh, interesting. So as a child, I have been like really silent and introvert child. Um, very like very a normal childhood, but I used to not talk much, or especially at my school. So it might happen that if you ask any of my schoolmates, they might forget, like they might walk past by me, because I was so silent and introvert. But then as in when I grew up, I think in my class 11 and 12, I started interacting a little bit. And then I had friends who were like really naughty. So because of the company I had, I got to be known a little bit to the teachers also. So there were times when we got caught for doing like a lot of mischief, and we were called by the principal and stuff like that happened. So suddenly, from like a very silent introvert child to like being a mischievous child, that happened with me in my school days.
Did they
So
ever wonder where was this child studying? Was it in our school or a different school?
I think for some of them this might have happened. So I was known for like the good things. So I've always had a very good handwriting. So I've studied from a convent school, and there we had a thing where we had a blackboard where every day we had to like write one good proverb for the day. So I used to be the one who used to be appointed to write it, is because my handwriting was nice. So for good things like these, I've been known, but not like a mischievous child, which even later I discovered that I had that bit in me too.
So you
So
say that you were doing sessions and all. Is that like, do you have a background to work with
yes,
people, or was that a change in career that happened in between somewhere?
so not a change in career, you can say, majorly, but so I did my majors in human resources in my graduation and also in my post graduation.
Okay.
So to working with people was always my agenda in life. And then a lot of extension happened. So to the human resources, an extension happened that I certified as a soft skills trainer. Then I also did my image consulting course, where you consult people on how to dress up and how to look according to their roles and goals in life. And then I got into access consciousness, which is another modality of healing. And yes, I'm into a lot of things. I'm just learning NLP right now, so I am on my way to expanding myself in every area as much as possible.
Yes.
So yes.
That's amazing, because I think a friend of mine is into image consulting as well. So that's how I know.
What
Yeah.
it is about.
Yeah. So there has been this conversation that has been going on with her also. Like, when you talk about inner work,
Yeah.
we talk about peeling out and being more of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there is what you are talking about. I'm not saying they're different, but image consulting, and you're
Yeah.
actually adding on
Yeah.
to, so there was at one point of time I had a point of view that you can either do this or that, but can we now have a conversation about how we can include both?
Yes, definitely. And I think a lot of people have that kind of a point of view and mindset that image consultants, what they do is that they just make you wear good clothes and then then that's it. But image consulting is inside out completely. So it is not necessary that you need to look good or there is a certain thing that is right or wrong. No.
Yeah.
We do it according to your roles and goals in life. So if somebody is a housemaker or if somebody is a CEO of the company, he or she will be consulted according to how they want to be projected and presented. So not
Hmm.
necessary that we will ask some female who's like really feminine and is used to being at home, so we won't ask that person to wear formals or anything of that sort. So a lot of
Right.
people have that belief. So first we do a lot of client knowing. We do a lot of CNA, client need analysis. We get to know the person, we get to know what he or she likes, what is their lifestyle, and only according to that we suggest them or consult them a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you do access consciousness also.
Yes,
What do you do there?
so I did my bars class approximately 4 years back. After that, lost a little bit of connection with access consciousness. Then recently, my from my family, my sister and my mother did the foundation, and they were blown by how beautifully it impacted their life. And then I was inspired to do it, and since then, like it's been 4 months since I've done my foundation, and since then I've done the money workbook, done a couple of book reads, and the foundation is beautiful. So yes, I use the tools that Access provides us, like questions and clearings. So all of this is what Access has helped me and given me. That's how we
Okay.
use Access.
And I think when we were talking earlier, much earlier on, I wanted to have you and your sister and your mother together after we did individual conversations, right? And you
Yes.
said the mother was instrumental in inspiring your journey in some sort of a way.
Oh yes, she was. So like I said that I was quite an introvert child when I was in school, and so what happened is that I wanted to go out to do my post graduation, and I belong from a Marwadi family, and my father personally is really like practical and open minded, but my extended family is a little conservative. So to send me 8 years back to Pune to do my masters, what was not really an option that we even had. So my mother, she was using this power of gratitude. She had read this book, The Magic by Rhonda Bryan, and she had a couple of ideas about the law of attraction and this power. So she used this power, like she used to write. She has her diaries filled, where I saw it recently also, where she has poured in gratitude to the institution, to everything about the institution where I was going to go to study,
Mm.
which wasn't even fixed. Like I didn't know where I'm going to go, I didn't even know whether I'm going to go or not. And so one fine day they just happened to meet you know a family friend, and they said that, oh, our daughter is studying at Flame, from where I did my post graduation, and they couldn't stop talking good about that college. So my parents came home and they said, Nupur, we heard that Flame is this. I said, yeah, I know. So then they said, why don't you give it a try? I said, are you serious? Like, yeah. And I applied. I only applied for one college, got into it, and and it was such an amazing journey at Flame. And I think my exposure to different people and going away from home, so a lot of that has made me the person I am today. Because, like I said, I was very introvert. So I used to never talk to people. This what I'm doing right now, taking sessions, and so by now I think I've already done close to 140 150 sessions in the past 1.5 year. No, not even 1.5 year, 12 months.
Oh wow,
Which
that's
is
amazing.
which I couldn't think of at all. So yeah,
Wow. Thank you for being such a gift and contribution. Yeah,
wow,
it does take that energy and that willingness to actually do something. It's not just the action of it. It's just being that person who can just listen, who can just be in allowance, and who can also facilitate the whole process. Because a lot of conversations that we have, whether it is with family and all, we do judgment, or we do this or that, or it's like choices this or that. It's not this and this and this. We are
yeah.
not used to a lot of things,
Hmm.
right? So it's really amazing that you're doing this work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I would like to tell you that your being in allowance, I was good, getting aware to this concept of being in allowance. But I would like to tell you and really appreciate you and acknowledge this about you, that when I spoke to you the first time on the phone, when you called me, I actually got to know what in allowance, what being in allowance is. So
Okay,
thank you so much for
thank you.
yeah, being in allowance and being you. So that was
Yeah, that's an everyday, I think, perseverance to be that.
and you're great at it. Just let me tell you. So that was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, but there are times I do go into that judgment, and I do fall into the trap some of the times, but I catch myself enough times to say, okay, next time, okay, talk about it and move on.
So that's the whole point. No, a lot of times we get into judgment, but we don't know how to get back. So once you're
Yeah,
aware of this, that's the whole point of knowing that we should be in allowance, because we are human beings, and I think it's very natural for us to just flow in the
yeah.
judgment.
Earlier, my understanding was that allowance means sacrifice, but then I realized allowance does not mean sacrifice. It means including yourself in the equation
Right,
while including others in the equation.
right.
So, yeah. What else? What do you love doing?
What do I love doing? I love empowering people. I love inspiring people. I love getting inspired from people. So these past couple of days has just been, giving sessions, attending sessions, and giving sessions and attending sessions. And it's been such a great journey. Like, after a point, I feel like, okay, there's something or the other just coming up and coming up one after the other. And it's been so lovely. So I so like I said that I did one close to 150 sessions. So a year back I created a vision board for myself, and I was doing a set. Like I said, I keep attending a lot of sessions and I keep expanding myself. So I was attending a session, and where we made us write our goals, and I created like a very simple small vision board for myself. And the mentor of mine who was taking my session, he said, Nupur, why don't you, since I'm a soft skills trainer, so he said, why don't you write that, by the end of the year, the next year, you're going to take 100 sessions. I said, sir, I don't even know how and where I will start with. And 100 sessions in a year. So he meant 365 days. We say 100 days you're taking a session. I said, please let it be. So he's like, no, I'm telling you, just write it. I said, okay. So by before even the year got over, I was done with 100 sessions. And since the lockdown, I think the next 50 happened online.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So I just want to talk about how important it is for us to figure out something about what we want in life. Just something, not just keep going on and on and on with the flow. And once you figure it out, you will know at least some way to, go about it. At least the universe is getting a sign कि अच्छा तुमको ये चाहिए. You have to at least order something, no?
Yeah. So what I found is that most people, they have a certain amount of clarity, but sometimes there are big dreams and there are small dreams. Small dreams people are willing to write down, small dreams people are willing to look at, and they think, okay, from their capacity they can do it. And then there are these big dreams which they already decide they cannot have it.
Yeah.
But actually when you're talking about writing it down, I would like to share that, I read this with Esther Hicks, where she would write a list of to do things, and then she would write 2 things that she will do that day. Remaining, she would say it's God's list.
Wow.
Or the universe's list. Now it's like up to the universe to figure out how that is done.
Yeah.
So it actually works. And that's the beauty of it. So what would it take that now that we're having this conversation, for people who are actually listening to this or seeing this, to actually immediately pause this video here, take a moment and write down at least 5 or 10 things that they would like to have, whether or not they can actually create it or they think they can or not.
That's so good. Yes, we should pen it down. And the power of written goals or vision, wishes or desires, that makes a lot of difference.
So what I'm getting right now is, can we help whoever is going to watch this in the next maybe 10 minutes to lead the questions that can lead to making their own vision board?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things you can ask yourself is, what do you want to feel, after probably 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line. So if you think you can't focus on long-term goals, and if you think short-term goals are your go-to, then, so why I'm talking about the feeling here is because universe ka language is feeling, like, computer ka language is binary code. Where universe understands the language. So the moment you tell the universe that this is how I want to feel, like, probably you want to feel accomplished, or you want to feel satisfied, or you want to feel happy. So first, I would like to say, you can just figure out how will you want to feel after 6 months, a year. And then a lot of times we get into the how of it. Like, कि मुझे कैसे ये मिल सकता है. But the how part is not our department. The how part is the department that you have to leave it to whatever the supreme power that you believe in. Then it can be God or the universe or any God, you name it, and you can leave it to them. So you can, the first question you can ask is, how would you want to feel? And how do you see yourself in the next how many ever months or year ka goal that you are making? And yes, the 2 questions that I could come up with are this. Nivedita, it would be great if you could help us with 1 or 2 questions regarding that.
And I'm an artist, so I would like to cut out the pictures of things and stick them on a chart.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
leave messages on the chart and keep it in, in your vision. Like, it can be in your room or in your cupboard if you don't want to share it with people in your cupboard. If you, it's okay if you want to share it on the, and keep adding to it. Like, if you would like a car, or if you would like to have a great studio, or like a workspace and a home space. And just like how you said, the feeling of it and actually having it. What
like,
can
kind
I
of
do
pretending it that you already have it. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and then look at it and look at it for at least 5-10 seconds and go to sleep. That's it. I mean, actions you will be required to do. The energy of that will obviously come in front of you, and you will know how to recognize it.
So what you said, the vision board, like it is very close to creating a vision board, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So vision boards are something that, they are a motivating factor. So a lot of times what happens is, when we think about a dream or a wish or a goal, a series of fear and doubt a company that thought of, you know, accomplishing that wish or desire that we have. So once you have it in front of your eyes, it's almost like you're keeping it alive.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot, and helps a lot to make you believe that okay, ये कभी हो सकता है और ये हो जाएगा.
Yeah. And also, I think because I see you and doing gratitude, I think we should add gratitude. Not just gratitude about I'm grateful for this. What am I grateful for myself as well? At least 5 things. What am I grateful for myself? What am I grateful for? See, if we don't include ourselves, then we are putting
So
ourselves.
everything starts from you. Everything starts from me. So, like I said, I started doing the sessions in this pandemic. So my first session was on self-image, and that included a lot of points where, you know, you have to. So there were points like fly, first love yourself. There were points like try to respect, time to respect yourself. So all of this includes like a lot of self-love. So
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times what we do is this thing of, you know, being loved or feeling loved, we give the responsibility to others, like
Yeah.
our loved ones, or, you know, a spouse, the mother, the siblings, the father, and we don't understand that this is a whole and sole responsibility of ourselves.
Yeah.
Everybody should be so full of loving their selves that when they come together, they share that love, and not that they
Yeah.
like, you know, put the responsibility, it's your responsibility to make me happy or make me feel loved. So
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because recently I read it somewhere that when we try to, like, for example, if somebody broke up with someone,
hmm.
and the pain they experience is not because they are not loving that person or that other person is not loving them. I read that it is because we are, as a person, whoever is that person feeling that pain, is actually trying not to love that person because now they're broken up.
Right.
For example, if X is the one broken up with Y, now X is contracted and feeling that I should not love this person anymore. Hence, you're trying to stop that. That is causing the pain, not actually, you know.
Yes.
So thank you for this conversation. I think this is brilliant.
Thank you so much. I would like to just say that, you know, always happiness, we a lot of times, so I have come to this a couple of days back, that I was so in the process of getting to the destination of whatever I'm doing, that I sometimes forget to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens with me a lot. So it used to, I can say, but now I, you know, keep reminding myself that Nupur, you have to enjoy the journey. So a lot of times when I see that the courses that I've done a couple of courses, and they've been like of long durations as well. So while the course is on, you are so much, you know, in a hurry to finish it, that you don't realize that the journey was so beautiful, you know, getting together with co-participants and doing the whole thing. So in life also, you know, if we are so in the rush and hurry to reach somewhere,
Yeah.
that we forget ki
We
every
forget to
day
look
should be
around.
lived fully. And you know, yes, you were saying something, I'm so
I
sorry.
said we forget to look around.
Yes, we forget to look around, and we forget to enjoy every day, like, you know, live every day however it is.
Yeah, there was one of the poet, I think, who wrote, "There is no time to stand and stare." Yeah. So you take sessions. Do you also offer courses to people?
I haven't come to that point yet where I offer courses to people, because when I spoke about the sessions that I was conducting before the pandemic, it was under like a banner. So I was training students who were, you know, aiming to become air hostesses and cabin crews. So I was training them on the topics of personality development. So it was under a banner. So up until now, I haven't designed or developed any kind of course. But yes, I do one-on-one consultings. And when I say one-on-one consultings, what I do in that consulting is just change your perspective a little bit, or maybe help you. Sorry, I don't change them. I just help the other person look at things a little differently, which sometimes we forget to.
Yeah.
So,
For them, they are in the situation and it's probably too microscopic. And when
yeah,
you easily pull back, we can see.
yeah. So
So
like this
if somebody were to come and do an individual one-on-one session with you, let's say they come up with a list of issues, How does that? Does a one session work or does multiple sessions work? How do you decide how many sessions work with these people?
It completely depends on, what that person requires. So there is no set rule book or anything for that of
Yeah, I
that.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly people think, I've gone to one session and it should be over. I'm just trying to clarify over there that, sometimes you require more time. So does that happen with you as well when you're working with someone that you will have to work with them for some time?
So it depends on how open they are to receiving.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, with me until now, I think one session has been enough.
Okay.
Yes, so I have done like very few one-on-one consultings. I've done a lot of group sessions where I have initiated the topic and things like that. So I also do a lot of group sessions I keep having. So now on next Sunday, I have a session on vision boards where I am going to help the participants create a digital vision board along with our workshop going on. So that's what I'm going to have since
I wonder if you would be interested in leading the gratitude program, or I wonder if you can lead a program like
So
Vision Board online.
you wonder, as in, I didn't get you.
I wonder if you could or you would be in the future maybe.
I am doing it. No, so I just did a 28-day book read of this beautiful book called The Magic by Rhonda Bryan. The book is all about gratitude, and the book teaches us how to use gratitude in all our areas of life, for small things, big things, everything. So what happens with this is that energy flows where attention goes. So I would just like to give an example here, that if you have two plants, like if I gift you today two plants and same plants, and after a month I come to you and I see one plant grown properly and one plant not grown properly. So what do you think would have been the reason for this one grown and one not grown well?
Could be that I haven't watered the other one or paid attention to it.
Yes, naturally, right? So
Yeah.
two same plants given at the same time to the same person. One plant has been, growing well and one plant isn't been growing well. So why does that happen is because one plant has been given a lot of attention, sunlight, water, everything. So very naturally, whatever you think about, that grows. So in this book, they have taught us that, you have to be grateful for everything that you have. Like, even with little things, like, the moment you wake up in the morning till you go to your bed, there are millions of things that you can be grateful about. And for somebody who wants to complain, they can have a million things to complain about. So it's your choice completely to decide which thought you want to water. Do you want to water the thoughts that are good for you? Do you want to feel grateful for the things that you already have, or do you want to complain? So
Yeah.
you have to decide what do you want to keep getting more in your life, things you want to feel grateful for. I think definitely a lot of people would choose that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is there anything that you particularly like to see as a change? I mean, is there any question that I should have asked you, or that completes the conversation in its own way?
um, just have a purpose, that's all. Have a purpose for living. That's all I want to say in the end. And happiness is always a choice. It's never yeah, it's always a choice. That's all.
So this is a conversation we've had before having this official recorded conversation. That we were talking about happy times and choosing happy times, and sometimes you feel sad, and then there is that whole conversation about whether we dwell in sadness or we want to move to happiness. Can we say more about that?
Yes. So after I, completed my post graduation, and I was working in Ahmedabad in a company, and along with that, I was doing my image consulting course and my soft skills training, and I wasn't really happy doing the training there. So after a couple of months, I realized that it's not my thing. The 9 to 5 job wasn't really comfortable. So I got back home, and so for about 3 years, I had no like idea, direction, nothing. Like I was almost doing nothing. So I was wondering, so that was like one part of my life where I was clueless and like really in a, like not in a very happy space, because there was nothing productive happening for 3 years in a row. And yeah, I started using this power of gratitude. I started counting my blessings. I started writing a lot of thank yous, and one thing led to another. And yeah, I am here where I am right now. So I think this power of gratitude really has helped me a lot in a lot of things, and in a lot of ways.
So if we don't know where to start, we can start with gratitude.
Definitely. If you ask me, I would say that.
Yeah. Thank you, Upur, for having this conversation with me. It's so brilliant that, the way we speak and go out having a conversation, they say possibilities get created, and it just changes people's lives because it's just a matter of fact conversation, but some words will ring a bell for someone. So thank you for co-creating this with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It was lovely having a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Thank